Hey guys, we have a verdict in Leilani Simon case. So here we go.
Jury room is clear, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Deputy Smith. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you may have a seat. Thank you very much. And I understand that you have received.
Thank you everybody for
I just
coming
want
in
to
last
say,
minute live. We have a
first of
verdict
all,
in
to
the case.
those who are in the audience,
Listen to what they have
there has been a jury verdict reached. To everyone in attendance, and many of you have been here for quite some time, I will ask that there not be any emotional reactions and no disruptive outbursts. So at this point, I am going to ask the foreperson to please stand. Juror 5. And have you reached a verdict?
Yes, we have.
Was it unanimous?
Yes, it was.
Has the verdict been filed in or filled in and signed and dated by you?
Yes, it has.
And if you would please hand the verdict to Deputy Solomon. Thank you, Deputy Solomon, for handing that up.
and my phone would start ringing. Of course. Hey,
I'm going to ask counsel to approach and take a look at the verdict form.
hey everyone, let them kind of do this. We'll catch it again here in just a sec. Hope everybody's having a great day. I mean, literally, I was on the phone with JoJo and this popped in. So I hung up and threw a live real quick. I have to go in and do all of my edits in a minute. I just wanted us to catch this. I hope you guys are having a great Friday. And I'm jealous Kendall is getting to go see Jelly Roll. I'm super mad.
As to the verdict, it reads as follows.
Oh my
We,
God,
the
Alexis,
jury,
my
find as
God,
follows.
my birthday
Malice
again.
murder. We find the defendant guilty.
Yes.
Count 2, felony murder. We find the defendant guilty. Count 3, felony murder. We find the defendant guilty. Count 4, concealing the death of another. We find the defendant guilty. Count 5, false report of a crime. We find the defendant guilty. Count 6, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 7, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 8, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 9, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 10, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 11, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 12, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 13, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 14, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 15, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 16, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 17, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 18, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. And count 19, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty.
All 19 counts. Wow.
And is there anything further from the state?
Good job, jury. Good job.
From the defense?
Justice for Quinton.
Certain. So, members of the jury, this is something that very often happens. You will be asked questions by the clerk. 3 questions in particular, I believe, and simply answer the questions. Madam Clerk.
Juror number 1, was this your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Juror number 2. Juror number 2. Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Thank you. Juror number 3. Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Thank you. Juror number 4. Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Juror number 5. Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Juror number 6. Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Juror number 7. Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Juror number 8. Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Juror number 9. Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Juror number 10. Was that your verdict then?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes, ma'am.
Juror number 11.
Yes.
Was that your verdict then?
He's got
Yes.
Is
tears,
this your verdict now?
but it's for herself. It
Number
ain't for her
12.
baby.
Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Anything further at this time with the juries?
No,
With the jurors. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your service, for your time, for your energy. This has been an important more than 2 weeks now that you've spent with the court, and your time and attention is deeply appreciated. I am going to release you. If anyone wants to speak with you about your deliberations and you want to, you may do so now. You're being released from the instructions. You're not under any obligation to speak with anyone about your experience, but you may do so if you choose to. I am ordering that there be no contact with the jurors in the courthouse or on the courthouse property. But I do release you at this point. Thank you. You're free to go.
Jurors exiting.
She didn't even cry. Well, she has some tears. She didn't even cry when they showed his remains. Like cold-hearted bitch, and then cry when you get a guilty verdict. Yeah, go to hell. Tell her, Molly. Tell her
All right, everyone may please have a seat.
what Molly thinks about it.
Sentencing will not occur at this time. It's going to be scheduled for another date. That date will be determined. And of course, if there's anything to be presented in aggravation or mitigation, I'll hear it at that time. All right.
Those tears
there
are
anything
simply
further
just
at
for
this
her.
point
They're
from the
not
state?
for the fact that her baby is dead.
From the defense.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you as well for your service from the state as well as from the defense. And with that, we are adjourned.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Holy crap. I have missed you, Alexis. I haven't seen you in for ages. This trial, I have cried more in this trial than any other trial other than Gannon's. When Gannon, I boohooed through Gannon's like a baby. The other day, Molly, seriously? The other day when they showed how they transported his remains, I lost it. I lost it. He was such a beautiful baby. And she resented him so horribly. And she kept saying that there were things that they relayed that she said about him and that he reminded her of his dad. But he looked like his mother. Hey Jojo, it just I don't know. My heart just broke for this baby. And listening to the baby's sitter talk about when she would pick him up, he'd want to stay with them, but he would want to go if Danny picked him up. And the fact that they tried to make suspicion, throw suspicion, throw suspicion on Danny drove me crazy. But again, that's it. That's the defense's job, to make there seem to be something somewhere other than where it's at. I wanted to stream this trial, but I knew I had a lot going on, and I wasn't sure which, because Dave was home and he was getting ready to leave, if I would be able to do it every day, all day. And I didn't want to not be able to do the whole thing. But possibly go back over some of it. There were some points I would like to talk about. Definitely will be looking at her sentencing and all of that. I should have been watching the rest of Sarah Boone today. We go through months where we have nothing happening in these cases, right? There's nothing happening and we have nothing to talk about. And then all of a sudden they all go to trial at the same time. And you have to try to pick which trial you want to follow. So it has been driving me crazy back and forth between trials. I did catch an interview with Sarah Boone, on the Sarah Boone case, but it was with George's daughter and ex-wife today. Maybe we can talk about that. I don't want to do it in this one because this one is about Leilani, but yeah, I knew they were fixing to be doing closing arguments and all of that earlier. And then I knew this was getting close. We kept having questions from the jury. Like, this jury was cracking me up. And even the judge laughed. And she's like, I've never. Because they were like, do we have a set block time for lunch? Like, they went back in for 2 questions today. One was, do we have a block time for lunch? And the second question was, can we order drinks? And one of the jurors needs her lunch heated up. So it was like, oh my God. They were like, can we have like real questions? That one question they had was, can they have extra forms? The count forms or whatever it is. I think they wanted to write on them and for their notes or whatever. And so they were making that form. Then they had the questions on lunch today. It's like, okay, come on, please. I guess maybe they were trying to stretch it out to make it really feel like they were truly looking at the evidence. I think it was a pretty clear-cut case on this one. This was open and closed, in my opinion. Alexis, I'm obsessed with Diddy and Sarah Boone. JoJo is obsessed with Diddy. She's been following a lot of the Diddy. I've been watching a little bit of it. I don't get as into those. I'm interested in them. I just don't get as into them as these others. Sarah Boone has been a nutcase from the beginning. I can't with that case. But it is an interesting case. We need to talk about it. Monday, I am going to be starting Menendez Brothers. JoJo's wanting to help do some of that. I know Kendall will be up. So I'm going to start Menendez Mondays, and we're going to start from the beginning and break down that case from the original trial and the second trial, the different things going on and the current stuff. Hopefully we will have, I'm hoping they televise the judge ruling. I'm hoping for that. We'll see. Diddy is a disaster. He has been a disaster from day one. Fiddle diddle. You're killing me. But, most celebrities are, right? They get all that money and they become entitled. But there are a lot of people devastated and destroyed by his actions and actions of others. And I think we are at a time in society where that's got to stop. So, but anyways, if you're just joining us, I seen the numbers kind of jump up. We just had a verdict with Leilani Simon on the murder of her son, her 20-month-old son, Quinton. She was found guilty on all charges. I believe it was 19 charges. Hey, Boston. Most of those were, what was it called? I'm drawing a blank. False reporting. But she was found guilty also on the the corpse charge and the murder charge. She had Boston. She had like 3 tears at the very end that she was squinting her eyes to make come out. In the very beginning, I played it. It was forced tears. She didn't cry when they were showing his remains and where his little skull was found, and describing the tissue from his back that they found and those things. But, she definitely cried with a guilty verdict because it's all about her. So I was reading Kendall's reply. She. Oh no, Boston, you're wrong. I'm glad they're getting out. I'm glad they're getting out. With Leilani, that family, there's something just wrong, right? And I hate to do this and pick apart a family, but one brother is in prison. The mom had custody of the children, or the grandmother, basically. Then this with Leilani, and she was definitely seeking men attention. Her value came from the attention from men. So there was definitely some issues. Yeah, I kind of felt like the mother should have been charged. She wasn't supposed to be leaving that baby alone with her rather. And so I think there should have been some charges there. And so, I don't know if statute of limitations has run out on anything that they could be charging her with, or if they just chose not to. I don't know, but you know what? She gets to live with that for the rest of her life, that her negligence cost that baby his life. And that was the prettiest baby. He just was gorgeous. Matter of fact, let me find a picture. Let's find a picture. He needs to be shown right now. All of these pictures, he's just so precious. So precious. Let's do this. Let's show some pictures of this gorgeous baby. We have this one. Get off the screen. Why is all of this popping up? I don't want that. What is showing on my screen? Okay. He did, right, Boston? And she kept, the rumors and what everybody kept saying was that she resented him because she hated his father and he reminded her of the father, but he looked just like his mother. So to me, that is just disgusting. Just disgusting. And those just are not popping up the way I want them to. He was just such a gorgeous little boy. Like, I love this smile right here. Like, just adorable, adorable, adorable baby. Everything about him. He reminded her of her. Very possible. Very possible. Very possible, guys. I don't know that I've disliked a defendant as much as Tisha Stout. Totally forgot her name there for a second. Until this case. And then I'm like, Leilani is running a close race with Tisha. Tisha was just nuts. This woman here, poor excuse for a mother. Poor excuse for her poor babies. Her children, there's 2 other children. There is a younger baby. I don't remember how old the baby is. And then there's Zane, who is the older one. they have to live with the fact that their mother killed their brother. You know, what trauma are these kids gonna have? It's just sad. It's just freaking sad. They are better off without her. I think Billy Joe still has them. Last I remember, I technically think they would be better off without her as well. My opinion. Hate to be that way, but it's true. So, all right, guys. Well, I guess we're on verdict watch for Boone now. I'm gonna go flip over to that court case now and watch it and possibly go live again and let's talk trash on Boone. I will see you guys later on. If I am not back later on, you guys have a great weekend. Kendall is going to see Jelly Roll. I'm super jealous right now that she's going to see Jelly Roll. But I'm hoping she has a blast. But everybody else have a great weekend. And if we're not back later tonight, then we'll see you on Monday. Let's talk some Menendez brothers.